Skeleton Knight in Another World looks like the most generic isekai imaginable. Overpowered protagonist? Game mechanics? Fantasy world? Yep, all here. But then the first episode opens with war crimes, slavery, and attempted assault. And suddenly you realize this anime isn't as lighthearted as its character design suggests. This is an isekai that can't decide whether it wants to be cozy, power fantasy, or dark fantasy survival story. And surprisingly, that tension is what makes it interesting. Our protagonist wakes up in another world, trapped inside his game avatar, a fully armored skeleton knight named Ark. He's absurdly overpowered from the start. He has high-level gear. He knows the game mechanics. But instead of becoming a tyrant or speedrunning domination, Ark chooses to help people quietly, hiding his identity while dealing with a world that is far crueler than he expected. That contrast defines the anime. Ark is powerful, no question, but what separates him from typical isekai leads is intent. He doesn't seek glory. He doesn't crave recognition, and he actively avoids becoming a symbol of fear. Ark's strength exists to correct injustices, not to inflate his ego. He's calm, polite, and almost awkward, which makes the violence he unleashes feel deliberate, not indulgent. This is where Skeleton Knight becomes divisive. One moment, campfire conversations, traveling companions, light comedy. Next moment, slavery rings, political corruption, brutal consequences. The anime constantly switches between comfort and horror. Sometimes this works, highlighting how ugly the world really is. Sometimes it feels jarring, especially when comedy follows heavy scenes too quickly. But it never feels careless. The anime knows its world is cruel. It just refuses to wallow in it. Ark isn't alone for long. The supporting characters, especially his companions, have their own motivations, trauma, and agency. They're not just there to praise the protagonist. They challenge Ark's worldview, pull him into larger conflicts, and remind him that fixing one problem doesn't fix the system. For an isekai, that's a big plus. This isn't a lore-heavy series. Instead, the world building is functional. You understand who holds power, who suffers under it, why Ark's interference matters. The anime focuses less on magic systems and more on social structures, which makes its darker themes land harder. Visually, the anime is solid, not spectacular. Clean character designs, decent action choreography, consistent quality. Ark's skeleton armor gives the anime a strong visual identity, especially during fight scenes where his lack of expression contrasts with brutal efficiency. The soundtrack supports the tone well without overpowering scenes. A morally grounded OP protagonist, willingness to confront dark themes, a balance between kindness and consequence. Surprisingly sincere character interactions. It doesn't reinvent isekai, but it refines it. Predictable power fantasy beats, tone shifts can feel abrupt. Stakes sometimes vanish because Ark is too strong. If you're expecting deep strategic battles or constant tension, this might feel too safe. You'll enjoy this anime if you like. OP protagonists with restraint. Isekai that acknowledges cruelty without glorifying it. Adventure stories with moral clarity. You might not enjoy it if you want. High-stakes combat where the MC struggles, complex power scaling, deep political intrigue. This is a comfort watch with teeth. Skeleton Knight in Another World is better than it looks. It's not revolutionary. It's not deep in every moment, but it's sincere. An isekai about choosing kindness in a cruel world, even when you're strong enough to dominate it. And honestly, that's refreshing.